Hi, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathy. Let me make sure you can hear me okay. Did you see the note I pinned? If you are in vertical mode, switch it over if you're on a computer, unless you are on a phone. Otherwise, it's going to look teeny tiny. We had that problem last night. And what you have to do, as you can see, is you need to go back out to my channel and pick the other option. It shows two of the same thing streaming. It's not super clear on my computer which one is which, so you have to go in and out and check it, okay? And then you'll be in the right mode for whatever device you're using. So welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathy. Good to see you all. And welcome to a Saturday live stream. We're going to stick with true crime today. If you missed my live last night, there was some interesting things that have never been seen and heard before about the crazy drama involving hidden true crime, Lauren and her hidden gems. And to any of you that are hidden gems that are here, those of you in recovery, thank you for in recovery from HTC, Reformed Hidden True Gems, that maybe are loyal news now. I would love that. And if you are not in recovery and you are still drawing your line in that sand, please be kind in the chat if you're going to be here. Anybody that is rude or mean or nasty or inappropriate will be silenced by the mods. So let me see who's here before we get started. Let's see here. Hello, Carrie. And Carrie. Hello, Carrie Lynn. Lori Woods. Desiree to my eyes. You guys, these are new glasses too. Amber, hello. Ruth Ann, Greer's Green, and BLM. Welcome. Welcome to my mods and to all of you. Deborah. All right. Let's see. Cassandra. Hello there. And just a friend. All right. Hello there. Dr. Von Decay. How are you? Angel hugs. All right. So many great people here. I'm so happy to see you all on this rainy Saturday day where I'm at. It's a little damp and wet here, so my sun is not shining as it usually is, but that's okay. It's nice to not have blasting sun in my eyeballs. Yes, the ones are in recovery, the gems that are in recovery. I know it's probably a lot to go from being a happy gem to being one that realizes that you had a problem, a big one called the creator. Anyway, today I want to talk about Anna Kepner case because more and more stuff keeps coming out on that case. And it's really sad. And if everything we're hearing is true, it's even more incredibly sad. Not a murder by a stranger, but by your own stepbrother. But I do have to say that the father, he's kind of on my SHIT list, the way he's handled his life with his children and his women. If you don't know, this woman who is the mother of the supposedly the one that they're looking at, the young 16-year-old that they're looking at as the suspect, that woman, Chantel, her and her ex-husband are in a pretty big custody battle. And it sounds like it's for the 9-year-old that they share together. And in fact, they have this ongoing custody battle, and she had to go to court the other day to ask for some of these hearings to be postponed because of what's going on with Anna. And, a lot of people, I've heard of people dying on cruises all the time. So it's very common for people to commit suicide and jump off. Not common, but one of the most common causes of death on a cruise ship is suicide. Be very easy to do. You just jump and you're in the deep blue sea and the ship keeps going and you're lost at sea. And then heart attacks, obviously, a lot of elderly people with that are in not the greatest health do go on cruise ships and wind up sick and dying. And there is always a doctor on board the ships. There's medical staff on board the ships. And one thing that everybody was saying was that um, sh she died at 11:17 a.m. on the 7th of November. And I can tell you, and I did make a little short about this, but I can tell you that that was the time she was pronounced dead. It isn't the time she stopped. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's by her Apple Watch. But legally, you can't go by what an Apple Watch says as a legal time of death. The legal time of death for anyone has to be pronounced by a medical professional, usually a doctor, although in hospice, I am legally allowed to pronounce. So I don't know if it's different because it's expected, but in a hospital, it has to be a doctor. So anyway, I just want to let you know that she was found the day before they docked back in Miami, and her time of death was soon after she was found, not before she was found. And that's just because that isn't the exact time you die. That is the time that you're pronounced. So, so that's what that is. But I wanted to go through her history a little bit because it's really interesting. I did do another video on the relationships because it's all kind of wacky. Yeah, a lot of people are probably sleeping this morning or today because last night was late. And the show last night, if you haven't watched it, go back and listen. There is a police audio call with one of the ladies that was at the restaurant in Boise when they were there for the Koberger trial. And Lindsay and all them were there. And then Lauren went off the rails with her. She was very animated. She looked like she lost her shit to me, when Lori was over there talking to her. Anyway, there's I played it twice. I had some technical issues because it was like a last minute live. I got this stuff sent to me and then I wanted to play it. And I went on live without preparation and I was trying to figure it all out. And then this vertical thing was happening and it was just all crazy. But anyway, but if you want to watch what happened last night, the live is still up and you can watch and listen to that. That police call is actually pretty spot on. It was very theatrical what Lauren was doing. And the fact that she wouldn't leave the restaurant without calling the police to get an escort out of there and all that. Anyway, I wasn't going to go into that today, but just to let you know, that's from last night. If you haven't seen it, please go watch. Stepmom will probably lose her kids. The husband probably will stay. He didn't really play that big part in Anna's life. The stepmom. You mean with the stepmom? Thank you. Okay. So let me share something here really quick. And then I was going to get in and I found a really good amount of information that I want to show you and go over. Anna, this is her. These are a bunch of pictures of Anna right here. Anna, 18-year-old. I guess, is she naturally a blonde or a brunette? I don't know. But here she's blonde. Here she's brunette. And she recently broke up with a boyfriend that was supposed to go on the cruise with her. He had some interesting things to say, and we can go into that as well. So many questions about Carnival and other cruise lines allowing minors to stay in a room together without someone 21 or older in there or an adjoining room. Yeah, it's pretty wild that they allow that. I guess as long as there's an adult with them on the cruise, but it seems a little bizarre, right? It just seems a little much. You know what I think is really, really bugs me? From what I understand, there is a law that step siblings are not supposed to share rooms together in a home. And I believe that probably should be a law all the way across, especially teenage step siblings of the opposite sex or even the same sex, I mean, it just seems like you don't know what's going on with these kids or with these people, what's going on in their mind. They're not related. Anna's a very attractive girl. She's beautiful. To a young, horny 16-year-old, that's a problem. It's a temptation. Now, I have no idea what he wanted, but it sounds like through the ex-boyfriend, He was very interested in Anna, and he even came into her room at one point when I guess they were on FaceTime together, and she had fallen asleep and the FaceTime was still on. And the stepbrother came into Anna's room when the boyfriend was on the phone, and he saw him climb like on top of her or get near her when she was asleep. So this kid has some problems from what I can understand. What seems to have some problems. And allegedly, their mom said he has a psychiatrist appointment. The mom's documents are the ones that say that he's a suspect. Hello, Carolina. Hello, hello. Not in the same room. Not your sibling that you just have been with. Like these people, they only got married in December. They hadn't even been married a year. I don't know when they moved in together, but really not cool at all. If it's true that the stepbrother was obsessed with Anna, the parents should have known something and not let them in the same room. Well, the boyfriend said the boyfriend's father spoke on the news, and he said that his son tried to warn them about this, that this is weird, and they pretty much poo-pooed him. Hey, Mama D, how are you? So Anna Kepner, okay. So there's she's 18 years old, high school senior from Tuittsville, Florida. And her unexpected death occurred on the Carnival Cruise Horizon this month, November 2025. It did prompt a federal investigation. The FBI is involved, and there's back and forth about that. But basically, I think the bottom line there is because it was out in international waters, and that is their territory. She was born, okay, so her date of birth was June 13th, 2007. So she barely turned 21 back in this past summer, or 21, 18 this past summer. Her dad's name is Christopher Purcell Kepner, and her mom is Heather Marie Wright. Christopher and Heather, they divorced when Anna was 5 years old. That was in 2012. And her family changed over time. Now, there's some really crazy stories that go along with that. It says that Anna was raised with the help of her longtime stepmother, who's Tabitha Lynn Harper, who became a central parent figure throughout most of her life. Now, from what I gathered and what I heard and what I read was Tabitha was actually their babysitter, and she was 15. And there are some posts and all this by extended family members that bring this up on Facebook. And so Christopher and Tabitha apparently had a relationship together when Tabitha was 15. And Tabitha's mom actually filed in court, big time file against Chris. There was a hearing, and I believe it was dropped, but we'll get to that. So she didn't just go to this one high school. She went to several high schools in Tuittsville. She was a cheerleader, a varsity cheerleader. And she started at the Tuittsville High School, and then she went to a high school called Astronaut High School. I think they're by Cape Canaveral there. So that might be why that's called Astronaut. And then she went to Temple Christian School, and that's where she was going for her senior year right now when she passed away or died or was murdered or whatever you want to say. So that's where she was supposed to graduate from this year. Well, in 2026, spring. People liked her. There was a lot about her being bubbly and fun and friendly and light up a room and all that stuff that they say when people die. But I do believe it. She looked like a very outgoing little girl. Seemed to be very happy for the most part on her TikToks. But then again, TikToks, everybody looks happy on social media. Do I look happy on social media? Because I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just got a lot. Okay, my mother. Talk about that another time. Anyway, so she had taken a test to join the U.S. Navy, and she was going to do that. That was in her plans. And eventually, I guess she planned to be a canine police officer. So she must have loved animals as well. And then they said she was deeply connected in her faith. I noticed she's wearing a cross. So I'm sure being part of the Christian high school community meant a lot to her. Um, Lots of teachers, friends, and family loved her, from what they say. So this month, the beginning of this month, she was going on I think it was a 1 week cruise, and it went to, I think it was coming back from Cozumel was the last stop, and it went to Jamaica, and one in between, another stop. So she was with her father, her younger siblings, her stepbrother, and her father's partner, Chantel Hudson. Now they keep calling him her paramour, and they keep calling her his partner. I'm not sure if they were legally married. I don't know. That might be in my info. I don't remember. I kind of went back and forth on that. Yeah, epic parenting fathering fail after many parenting fails over the years. I love a protective dad who looks out for a daughter. Can't, right? It's just so weird to me. You would be like, no, but a normal dad would be like, nobody goes, your son don't go near my daughter. Hell no. Uh-oh, here comes my mother. Hold on just a minute. I'll be right back. Sorry, it's the invisible assholes. They're bothering her again. I'm going to pull my hair out. I am. I'm going to pull my hair out. But yeah, as far as like a dad that goes, don't bring your kid near my daughter, whether he's your kid or not. Like, leave it away, leave it alone. One report said I did see that that they were legally married in December, which makes sense. But but yeah. So I think it might be on my list here. I have the whole timeline. So where was I after my she said, you're knocking on my door. I said, I am not knocking on your door. I was on the phone. Well, I didn't know you were on the phone. I'm like, I was on the phone. I'm on the phone. What else do I say? I'm on the camera. Um, Custody wasn't finalized. Correct. Right. Titusville. Titusville. Thank you. I don't know why I look at that and I want to say everything but how the proper way of saying it. Tight, like something is tight. Titusville. That makes sense. What was I saying? Toots. Titusville. Okay. Thank you. So August 1st, 2025, she makes up Anna posts about her strained relationship with her biological mother. So let me see if I can find that. She makes a public TikTok post describing emotional distance from her biological mother and referring to her mother's struggles with addiction. So hold on, let me, if I can find it. Yep, here it is. Okay, hold on, let me get it. Let me share it with you. Let me see. Can I pause that? What does that say? You think you can hurt me? Nah. Real mom. I don't know. FYP viral. Okay, let me see if I can read this one. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get close enough to read it. It says, I have sat here and heard and watched my mom ruin her life and try to ruin mine. She has done nothing for me in life but try to make mine like hers. She has not tried to fight for me. She has not tried to actually have a conversation with me. All she cares about is herself and drugs. So I think I will be fine if you don't like me. And now she sits in jail as we speak. And honestly, I hope she learns something while being in there, because if she's done anything in her life, it's make her kids not even know who she is anymore. Thank you. What a sad, 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 sad. So her mom obviously was still struggling with addiction, and really heartbreaking. Super sad. So she makes that public TikTok post describing emotional distance from her biological mother and referring to her mother's struggles with addiction. She states that her mother was incarcerated at the time of the post. And in the caption, she thanks her stepmother for stepping up and being the mother figure she felt she did not have. Now, I'm assuming that she means this is August 1st of 2025. So this is just while I was going to Greece. So this was just this last summer, but it sounds like she's talking about Tabitha, the stepmother who was the babysitter who basically raised her. Tabitha and Chris divorced in 2023. And it sounds like there must have been some kind of an affair with this Chantel and Chris. So this guy's clearly put they all have themselves above the child, for sure. So August 20, TikTok posts thanking her stepmother, father, and grandparents. Anna posts a slideshow expressing gratitude to the family members who supported and raised her. So let's see that one. Hold on, let me get it up there. Thanks, Dad. Let's look at it and then I'll pause him. Hey, Mom, I'm going to Georgia. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, can you help me go get my license? Thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, can we go to Illinois? Thanks, Dad. What's that shirt? No, I'm not gay. Hey, Mom, can we go on a cruise? Thank you, Meemaw and Pawpaw. Peepaw. Hey, Mom, I'm senior now. Can you help me paint my parking spot? Oh, it is. It is Chantel. Hey, hold on. Okay, here's a thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, can you come to my varsity meeting? I'm getting lettered. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, I'm going to Georgia. Thanks, Dad. Okay, so is this cryptic? To me, this is cryptic, like she's talking to her real mom, and then she's saying, hey, Mom, can you do this? Hey, Mom, can you do that? But Dad does it all, right? Is that what you're seeing here? Hey, Mom, can you help me get my license? Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, can we go on a cruise? Thank you, Meemaw and Pawpaw. So, hey, Mom, can we go on a cruise? So it doesn't sound like she's talking to her actual mom who does none of this for her. And that's the grandmother. Okay. Hey, Mom, I'm a senior now. Can you help me paint my parking spot? And then I guess Chantel does it with her. Because that's Chantel, right? Thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Mom, for stepping up and being a mom to me. I thought I would never have. I love you guys so much. Stepmom, Dad, Meemaw, Peepaw. And this was from August 20th. I'm not playing the music because it'll probably get copyright. Poor thing. Yeah, she really is. I mean, she was probably really desperate to have her mom in her life. You know, drugs are horrible. They're a horrible thing. They're evil. They're the devil. They take over. They take people away from their loved ones. You know, it's tragic. Okay, right. That's what I thought. She's pointing out everything her mom is not there for, but dad is, and dad wouldn't protect her. So sad, right? Like, make a TikTok now. Hey, mom, can you go on the cruise and protect me from the evilness that's going to happen? Oh, sorry, not thanks, dad. He was busy with his somewhere else while Anna was. They didn't even look for her. She said she wasn't feeling good and they didn't go look for her that night to check on her. She's angry. I don't see Tabitha either, though. No, I don't. I don't see Tabitha either. But Tabitha is pretty much the one that raised her, so we will continue on here. So she thanks her stepmother for stepping up as a parental figure and helping her through significant life events. She highlights her father's involvement and includes multiple thanks dad's captions. She also thanks her grandparents, identified as Mima and Peepaw. The post demonstrates her emotional closeness to her father's side of the family. Hello. Hello, hello. Okay, so the final days at sea, that was November 2nd to November 7th. So on November 2nd, 2025, they departed on Carnival Horizon at 3:30 p.m. The family boarded the Carnival Horizon for Miami for a 6-night Western Caribbean cruise. And according to the itineraries, the ship departed approximately 3:30 p.m. with a scheduled return to Miami on Saturday, November 8th. Okay, let me share this. Here we go. This is the cruise itinerary. So November 2nd, departed Miami, and then was at sea on the 3rd. On November 4th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., they were in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And then on the 5th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., they were in Grand Cayman Island, Georgetown Harbor. And then November 6th, from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Cozumel. And then November 7th was a day at sea, which is the day she was found dead that morning. So the 6th must have been the night that she went not feeling good and went to the room. And there is some footage of who came and went, and I'll try to see if we got that. I don't know if I have that up. I don't think I have it up, but I can find it, I'm sure, of who went in and out of that room that night, because her half-sibling, the 14-year-old, was also sharing that room. And then the full sibling, which was the full stepbrother, his first name is Tim, last name TH is what they're calling him on everything. And then November 8th, they got back home. That's when the FBI boarded, and they already knew she was dead though on the 7th, and she was pronounced on the 7th. I got my coffee. I love this cup. It stays hot all the time. This cup is like 10 years old, and I use it every day for my coffee. Okay, so that's the ship's itinerary. So it literally went from Florida down around Cuba to Jamaica, then the Cayman Islands, and then to Mexico, and then back up. So just look at it. It just makes like a big old circle around Cuba. Interesting. Okay, get back to the timeline here. So she was sharing the stateroom with 2 younger siblings, described as her 14-year-old brother and 16-year-old stepbrother. Hi, Donna. Welcome. Yes, don't hesitate to catch the replay later. And everybody, we got to go to Turtle Boy tonight if you want to support Kresha, because Kresha is going to be on Turtle Boy tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So it'll be 7:30 Mountain and 8:30 Central Time. So that should be good. I'm interested in seeing how Turtle Boy and Crusha have this today. And I think it's good because this is all about protecting our rights as people that are allowed to speak their mind and all this kind of stuff here. And hopefully Crusha will get a lot of support there. Okay, so November 3rd was the day at sea. No port stops. Passengers stayed on the horizon and it went towards Jamaica. It was a typical sea day, activities, pools, dining, deck, entertainment, and evening shows. Have you guys all been on a cruise? You know, I really like them, but I've learned that they're not really, if I really want to explore where I'm going, I don't like cruises. If you want to just party and stay on a boat and have fun and be with a big group of people and not really learn about the culture of a place, sure. But for the most part, I prefer just going to an actual location where I can be immersed in the culture, the food, and not be on a ship. Yeah, resorts where you can like go out and about and explore the culture of where you're staying, right? Like when I go to Greece, I do not recommend anybody do a cruise going to Greece. You will miss out on everything. Everything that is Greece. The culture, the music, the food, you know, you're eating on the ship. It's like you just miss out on the entire thing. So, you know, you can go on a cruise to Greece, but you're missing the point. And they only go to places like Mykonos and Santorini, and you really miss out on the real Greece. Okay. And then they dump you off in the most crowded touristy places ever. In fact, one of the cruise ship passengers, when we were in Athens, up at the Acropolis, we were up by the Parthenon, some guy that was there from a cruise ship slipped because it's all marble and slippery and broke his leg. He's laying there. They ought to come up and get him. And so you're on a cruise and now you got a broken leg in Athens. Bad. Not a good idea. Okay. So the 4th, Port of Call was Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Their scheduled arrival is 9 a.m., departure 5 p.m. They have 8 hours in port to do excursions such as dunes, river, falls, and local tours. I've never been there. And then ship departs early evening for Grand Cayman. And November 5th, the port of call was the Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Scheduled arrival 8 a.m., scheduled departure 4 p.m. Grand Cayman is a tender port, meaning the passengers have to be transported from the ship by a boat to the dock. And that's how Cabo is too, when I went on a Cabo. You don't even get enough time. Like, look at how long they're even at the ports. They're not even there for a full 24 hours, right? You don't even really get to go. Everybody get up, eat your breakfast, get off the boat, go do an excursion, come back, and time to go. You're not really experiencing the places you're going to. But I've probably gone on 6 cruises in my life. I enjoyed them, but they weren't anywhere. They were more for like a bunch of us, like 20 of us nurses went on a 4-day cruise. It was just have fun, like fun. We went to Catalina and Ensenada. It was fun to hang out with everybody. We had a blast, but it was about the people more than the cruise, right? And then another time we did it again. So 2 times, me and my coworker nurses, we all went on a cruise. Another time I took my son and a friend of mine took their 2 kids, and we did the 7-day Mexico, Cabo, Puerto Vallarta one. And then I did turn 21 on a cruise ship when I was a flight attendant. We got really good discounts. So my best friend and I went out of Miami and we went to Puerto Plata, the Dominican Republic. We went to St. Thomas and San Juan. And that was my very first cruise. And oh man, did I get seasick on that thing. Oh my God. Oh, now I wear a scope patch whenever I'm going on a boat. After the Poseidon Adventure and Titanic, no thanks. I'll remember the Poseidon Adventure. That show when I was probably like in 5th grade or something. That movie freaked the heck out of me. Good music though. 4 adults and 5 kids, right? 2 boys and 3 girls. I'm baffled why the 2 boys weren't in one room and the 3 girls in another. Yeah, that is weird too. That stateroom has like a queen size bed and then a bunk bed. So the boys were in the bunk beds and Anna was in the queen size bed. I was on one, 40 people and norovirus made the news. 25. Oh my gosh. Norovirus is the worst too. And that's exactly where we're going to get noroviruses. I got it from a plane one time. My mom and I went back to my cousin's funeral and we like the funeral was going to be that we got there. And then the next day was not the funeral, but the next morning was the funeral. And we got there, and the second night, my mom got really sick. She was puking her guts out. And literally within like 4 hours, I was puking my guts out. And we had flown from California to Cincinnati to go to my cousin's funeral, and neither of us could go because we were so sick with norovirus. I'm like, oh my God. Why would you put mixed sex teens in a room together? It blows my mind. I think it is one of the most horrible things that you could ever do. And it literally, this could have been avoided without them if you wouldn't have put them in the room, I believe, at least for now. I'm going on my first ever cruise in April with my sister who has been on 10. This was a planned cruise with my sis and her wife. My sis-in-law passed away in September and my sis still wants to go. You know, and honestly, they can be really fun. If you're not like these Caribbean and Mexico cruises, I think that I had a great time when I've gone. I've had a great time. But I just wouldn't go anywhere where I really want to see the place. If that makes sense. And I'm sure you'll have a great time. Just don't let any teenage boys in your room. Just be careful there, okay? Okay, sorry. Somebody's going to yell at me for swallowing my coffee without muting. Okay, so November 6th. So these are the events leading to Anna's death now. 10:30 a.m., November 6th. Scheduled arrival, Port of Call, Cozumel. And then 6:30 p.m., scheduled departure. This is the last port of the trip. Ship begins the final sea day heading back towards Florida. So they had a whole day at sea. That was going to be the day at sea on the 7th. Now, that night at dinner, Anna left dinner early that night. She told her family she felt unwell, and she returned to her cabin to rest. She was sharing the Carnival Horizon stateroom with two younger siblings, as we said, her 14-year-old brother and 16-year-old stepbrother. The two boys returned later in the evening. So Anna went... No teenage boys. Okay, good. Anna went to lay down. She wasn't feeling good. And then the two boys came later. They returned to the room. Now, the younger brother apparently changed his clothes because some of those nights you get dressed up for dinner, right? They have like their more formal dinners. There's like dress codes on the ships for the main dining room. So he probably was wearing something nice. He wanted to wear something more casual. Went to the room, changed his clothes. This is all how I would expect it to go. And then wanted to go take pictures. So he left the room. The 14-year-old brother, her brother. And when he came back, he didn't see Anna in her bed, but thought she had left again to go out to spend time with the adults. So he came back to the room and went to bed. So the surveillance footage reportedly captured Anna returning to her cabin that night with no footage of her exiting again. So once she went in that room, she never came back out. But her brother, when he came back, didn't see her there, so thought she was gone. And he went to bed. And, 14-year-old boys, they can sleep through anything. So I'm sure he just passed out and went to sleep. Now, November 7th, Friday. So that morning, Christopher, the dad, he's 41, and stepmom Chantal, who's 36. Oh my God, the mother is the same age as my son. My oldest is 36. They gathered the family for breakfast the next day, and there was no sign of Anna. So for whatever reason, they began searching the ship. Wouldn't you just go right to the room? I don't understand that, searching the ship. But anyway, but eventually it was a maid who stumbled across Anna's body when she entered the cabin to do the service. So 11:17 a.m., according to the Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner's Office, Anna's time of death was recorded at approximately 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 7th. So that was pronouncement time. I'm sure the maid went in there around 11, found the body, called the ship's doctor, security, and they came and realized she was dead. And time of death would be recorded as that moment when the ship's doctor or somebody with that authority was able to pronounce. Maybe the captain, I don't know, maybe they have that authority. So at that time, she was aboard the Carnival Horizon en route and not yet returned to port. So they still had that whole day before they were going to get back to port. Carnival issued an official passenger advisory letter then. So let's see, the passenger advisory letter to people. Let me share this with you. It says stateroom 8367, November 7th, 2025. So this must be that stateroom or there. We have made arrangements for you to priority debarking on tomorrow morning. Authorities will be joining the ship first thing upon arrival to complete an investigation and will be in the area of your hallway. It could be noisy, disruptive, so we kindly ask that you be out of your stateroom by 7 a.m. So this is just somebody else's stateroom probably that posted this, right? Because it's that area. They probably gave it to each of everybody in that area. We kindly ask you to be out of your stateroom by 7 a.m. We will have breakfast for you, Meridian DR Annex, Deck 4, starboard side, and then our team will escort you off the ship ahead of other guests. I'm not sure. Is that their room? That's not super clear to me whose room this is or if it's just anyone in that area. Don't know. But basically, this was on November 7th. They told them, good, tomorrow morning, you got to get the hell out of here early because the FBI is coming on board, right? Another weird part of the story, your teen isn't feeling well, leaves a restaurant, and you don't check on that evening to see if she needs anything. Or I know, see, that's weird to me. The first thing I would be doing, before I went to bed, I would have went and checked on her, right? Like, okay, or as soon as I finished dinner, thinking about it. Okay, so if my daughter said, I'm going to go lay down, I don't feel good. Okay, honey, go ahead. Lay down. We're going to finish dinner. Right after I finished dinner, I would go to that room and check on her. She said she didn't feel good. Do you need anything? Do you need some Tylenol? Are you having cramps? Like, what's wrong? So yeah, it's unbelievable to me. Weird, right? You didn't check on her. Okay. Okay, November 7th. So that morning, we already did that. That's the advisory letter. And then, like I said, it just says that the authorities are going to be on the ship. They're going to conduct an investigation. It'll take place in the hallway near the stateroom. Guests are required to vacate. Guests are instructed to report to that starboard side for breakfast, and Carnival will arrange for the guests to get off the boat before other passengers. Now, November 8th, the Carnival Horizon docked in Port Miami the next day after the death was discovered. Federal investigators from the FBI Miami office took jurisdiction of the investigation. On November 9th, there was Anna School Temple Christian posted a tribute to Anna on Facebook. Let's see this. Here we go. Let me share this. Okay, hold on. Share. So, Anna, I will deeply miss you. You were a bright, kind-hearted young woman whose presence brought warmth and energy into the classroom. Your curiosity, gentle spirit, and the way you cared for those around you made a lasting impression on me and everyone who knew you. I will miss you poking your head in my office to say hello and that turning into a fun 15-minute conversation. Losing you is heartbreaking, yet I remain grateful for the time I had with you and the privilege of you becoming part of our TCS family. Your absence will be felt every day, but your impact and the memories you created will continue to live on in our hearts. Love, Mr. Bruner. There's pictures. This must be one of our good friends. 2 peas in a pod, making each other better. Barbara Collins Kepner, that's her grandmother. Can anyone tell me how to get her senior pictures? So there's somebody's just telling her how they can get her senior pictures. Horrible. Whole life ahead of you. And some freaking disgusting teenage boy allegedly takes it away. Wow. Yeah, Barbara, thank you so much for letting me see these amazing pictures of my amazing granddaughter. How tragic, you know? So tragic. Okay. So so then on the 10th, local news outlets identified Anna Kempter as the deceased passenger, age 18, senior at Temple Christian School. Despite her identification, the cause of death was not publicly released at that time. Counseling and community support, Temple Christian School hold a gathering in honor of Anna and her family at that point. And then there's this. Temple, I want to thank everyone that came out this morning for Anna and her family. The parking lot was full of so many that knew and loved her. We were able to provide Christian counseling through Live Well Behavioral Health for our seniors. Thank you to Pastor Jeffries, Pastor Barry, Pastor Porter, and Live Well Christian Counseling for speaking and praying with our senior class. Praise God that we can rest knowing that Anna is with our Lord and Savior. It doesn't make our grief any easier, but God is close to the brokenhearted. Please reach out to Live Well if you know of a student in need. Please continue to keep the family, her friends, and her peers at TCS in your prayers. Sincerely, and then Mrs. Andrea Stone, our administration, teachers, and staff. And they just put her car, she has her own parking spot at school. Someone says, praying for her family, friends, classmates, and the younger classmates that adored her. She was a wonderful mentor to my daughter, Kinsey, and her sisters. She will always hold a special place in their hearts. Rest in peace, Anna. So the guy who said she popped into his office, had 15-minute chats with, was Rich Bruner in student relations at Temple Christian School. Is that another name for a school counselor? Anyone know? Oh, maybe, probably, right? Makes sense. What is that? Is that a link for that? Hold on. What is this? Do I want to play this? Oops. How can I make it? I can't. Can I right click that? What is this stupid thing on? Is that the one that you're talking about with that the kid said he heard the noise? Okay, hold on. I got to go to YouTube. I think I can't find it. Hold on. give me a second because I want to get that link that you just put up. I lost it. Hold on. There we go. I'll share it. Oh yeah, here. Did you put it at the exact spot? Because it showed up like in the middle. Is this where I should start it? Okay. Let me share this instead. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay.
So that's what we can surmise, because what we've learned, and my colleague Ben Ashford on my team at Daily Mail has done some fantastic reporting on this. He got from sources close to the family and a source who has been briefed on the investigation that there is CCTV footage that it shows Anna going back into that room and never coming out again. And then her body was discovered. So we can deduce from that she died in that room. We've got the biological brother and then the stepbrother coming into the room. But there is also another very disturbing allegation. I want to stress it's just an allegation at this point. But again, from that ex-boyfriend, he was speaking after the memorial service that was held this evening in Titusville, Florida, her hometown. And he was saying that he had spoken to the younger brother, the biological brother, after all this had happened. And what that 14-year-old had told him was that he had heard shouting, screaming, what sounded like furniture being thrown around. He tried to get back into the room, and the stepbrother blocked his way and told him to leave. So that's an extra development here that kind of adds a nuance to this, that there was perhaps some conflict going on there. But again, this has not been verified, and this is just the ex-boyfriend saying what he was told, allegedly, by the younger biological brother.
So if we're to believe what the ex-boyfriend says he was told by this younger biological brother, this confrontation, the yelling, the screaming, and the blocking of not being able to get back into his room, this happened right prior to the death, or days before? Or what was the timeline of that confrontation?
The timeline for this, according to that ex-boyfriend, Josh Tew, that was the night that she went into the cabin and never emerged. What we have from the coroner in Miami is the date of death being declared at 11 a.m. the next morning. But that doesn't seem to be when she actually died. It seems like she may have died at some point during that night of November 6th. She certainly didn't show up for breakfast the next morning, November 7th. That's when the family was alerted to her being missing, something being wrong. But also this younger biological brother, 14-year-old, was saying that he never saw her. When he came back to the room, he didn't see her. He went to bed and got up and she still wasn't there. So we don't know exactly when she died. We don't know exactly when her body ended up underneath her own bed, wrapped in this blanket. But we know that it's in the time frame of between when she left in the evening for dinner. She left dinner early from the rest of the family on November 6th, and at some point later that evening when the younger brother, if we are to go on his reported testimony to what he's telling other family members, what he's allegedly told the ex-boyfriend, it was sometime later that evening. That's what I think we're piecing together right now.
And important to note that this is the FBI handling this, not the Miami police, because it was out on, the open seas and international waters, and that's why it may be more difficult to get this information. I'll just ask you this last question. I'm pretty sure you don't have the answer, as most of us don't. Do we know if toxicology is being performed on Anna's body, and if there's going to be any results announced anytime soon?
We don't have any information confirming that, but I think one can assume that the investigators on this case are going to try every method they can to find out what happened to her. It may be that there's something more obvious, something physical on the body that would help determine the cause of death, but we don't know that right now. And if I'm an investigator on this case, I would want to pursue every avenue.
Yeah, unless there's something so incredibly obvious about the condition that her body was found in. Gosh, Josh Boswell, thank you so much for this. I hope you'll come back as we continue to try to figure this mystery out. So appreciate it.
And so that's where we leave it. The FBI,
Okay, wait a minute. I found the interview. A second. Give me a second. Let's see if I can get it up here somehow. Ah. Okay, I gotta airdrop it to my computer.
It was suspicious because I knew that the brother
Got
did it, and
Okay, let me share this with you guys. Hold on, I can share it. I got it. I love airdrop. I'm always like, how do I get it? How do I get it from my phone to there? Oh yeah, airdrop.
relationship.
And only take a second. Your name is Josh too. Spell your last name.
CEW.
All right. And how old are you?
15.
15. And how did you meet Anna?
Through a past relationship last year.
And how did you actually meet with her? In school?
At school.
At school. What type of person was she?
She was a great woman, you know. I met her at school.
And the circumstances behind her death, you find them to be suspicious? And if so, tell me why.
It was suspicious because I knew that the brother did it, and yeah.
How do you know that?
Because of the past things that happened with him, like I was saying.
Which were what?
About the FaceTime and stuff.
What's the FaceTime?
Whenever I was on FaceTime with her, and when I was on FaceTime with her, and she was laying down, and the brother tried to go on top of her, and
You saw that?
yeah.
And how did she react to that?
I was like, what the hell are you doing in the room, you know? Then he got scared and like ran away, and I heard his footsteps like running through the house, you know, because he got caught.
So when you learned of her passing, you know, what was your reaction?
I ran away. He ran away. It was kind of crazy.
And when you learned that she passed away, how did you feel?
I felt very sad, you know, because that was my first love. She was the best that ever happened to me, and I'd even walk to her work to see her, you know, for like 5-10 minutes.
Did you talk with her before her death?
Like 3 weeks before it, yes ma'am. I was actually supposed to go on the cruise that she went on, but we broke up before then.
When did you split?
We split up like 6 months ago.
6 months. Okay.
And everyone said she's just a bright light. So many people wearing bright colors today. How would you describe the kind of person she was?
She was a great person. She definitely knew how to throw on her outfit. She was great, you know. She knew how to put on colors. It wasn't like a basic outfit.
And this is your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
She's okay with you talking to us?
Yeah, but we need to go.
Okay. Just wanted...
Okay.
What should happen next?
Thank you.
What do you think should happen?
I think that he should get thrown in jail for as long as possible. And yeah.
And when did you move into the house?
I have no idea.
Like a year or two?
Maybe like a year ago. I think so. I don't
You'd
know.
like to see justice for
Yeah,
your
I'd like
first
to
love.
see a lot of justice. Yes,
Has she ever complained about his behavior before?
yes ma'am. Yes, sir.
What did she complain about?
She complained about him being uncomfortable, or her being uncomfortable around him, because of the fact that he tried to go on top of her in the bed, and because of that she tried to go and stay the night at her friend's house and to dodge the staying the night at her house.
So that happened more than once?
Yes.
She ever bring that up with
How many
her?
times did that happen?
It happened one time, around like 3 a.m. that night.
That time when you were on the FaceTime call with her,
Yes, sir.
3 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Did she ever report that to her father?
No, I have not. I've reported it to the FBI.
And what is your name, ma'am? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that was Joshua.
Oh, wow. Right? Oh, wow. So that kid was a creeper from what the ex-boyfriend's saying. And the parents didn't do anything about it? Anna wanted to go stay at her friend's house because her new stepbrother was creeping on her. Wow. Again, the dynamics of this family are so off. Why didn't the 14-year-old tell anyone his sister didn't sleep in her bed? And if he did, why didn't that raise the alarm? I came in late, but I remember that you were one of the only podcasts that talked about the Vallow divorce and all its security measures they had to take. Yeah, there was a lot back then, man. Stuff was coming out. Yeah. Yep. I read that he went out on the ship to take pics. She came back and she was gone. He assumed that she went out for the evening, hang with the family. Then he went to sleep. Yeah, I know. That's what it says. And did he just never wake up again all night to notice if she came back or not? All right, let me get back to this timeline. They scheduled the celebration of life for November 20th. On November 17th, unofficial claim, a man identifying himself as Martin Donahue, who states he's Anna's uncle, posted a public statement on X. He alleges that Anna Kepner was killed by her stepmother's son while on the Carnival Horizon. So that was the one that was posted. I can share that because this was huge. This was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this guy for real? And clearly he is. So Martin Donahue, who is related by marriage as like a great uncle, if I have it right, said, I need everyone's help on this. If you haven't heard this story, then you've been living under a rock. This is my niece, Anna Kepner. She was 18 and was on a cruise with her dad, stepmom, and other family members. I cannot stay silent about this matter any longer. The stepmom's son killed her, stuffed her naked, beaten body in a sheet, and stuffed her under a bed and covered her with life jackets. Then slept on that bed like nothing happened. He told his stepmom when no one could find Anna on the ship. So yes, they know who did this, and it sickens me that the father, Chris, remains silent about it. Please pass this on till maybe it gets to someone that can do something about it. If nothing is done, it will all come out on the 20th. At least that's what the stepmom has said after treating the family. If they talk before that, they will be banned from the remembrance of life for Anna. Please pass this on. Please pass this so my family can get closure and the people who did this and lied and stalled to tell the, I think that's a typo, to tell the rest of us what happened when it did. Now you just look all guilty of a cover up, right? This person says, from FBI profiler John Douglas, when a body is covered up with a sheet and other things that can indicate a family member, I sincerely hope your family gets answers and justice. Oh, my goodness. That's kind of a thing, though. They do. Kitty cat, please get down. You're going to knock the camera over. Go, move. Oh, Lord. Go, move. Go, move. Go. Come on, go. You don't need to be here. So, yeah, craziness, right? Let me get that out of here. I have a cat in front of my chat. Please go. Nobody invited you here. I can't see the chat. There's a tail in my way. Anna kept quiet. Let's see with Caroline. Anna kept quiet because, hold on. She didn't want to upset her dad and make trouble for him with his love on girlfriend. I read that in a news article. I can't imagine what else she kept to herself. I know, right? There's so much coming out. Those staterooms can be pitch dark if you don't turn the bathroom light on or have a night light. So he may not have noticed her bed was empty if he woke up in the middle. That is true. Those rooms are really dark and you are out at sea. If you don't have a room with a balcony, it is black, especially if it's an interior room. I don't know if they had a balcony room or a window room or a porthole room, but if it is an interior room, especially, it is blacker, darker than dark that you can like in a closet with no windows sealed up. I like the balcony rooms. I feel like I can go out there and get air. The interior rooms make me feel really claustrophobic. Like I have no idea where we are, what we're doing, who we are, are we sinking? I don't know. It's just, I don't like the interior rooms at all. They freak me out. Okay. All right. So we will continue. So Martin Donahue, he was the uncle, says that she was killed by the stepmother's son on the cruise. He said she was beaten naked, wrapped in a sheet, stuffed under her bed, and covered with life jackets. Then on the 17th, there was an emergency motion for temporary relief filed by Thomas Hudson. Now, this is Chantel's ex, and he filed this emergency motion. One second. Sorry, here comes my tickle. I got the Lauren cough going on here or something here. Okay. So come now, the petitioner, Thomas Hudson, and he filed this emergency petition. He says there are 2 remaining minor children that are subject to the action, to wit, TH and BH. The oldest child of the parties reached the age of 18 while in the care of the petitioner. The adult child of the parties alleged a violent altercation between himself, the mother, and her paramour that led to him residing with the petitioner. So the older son, there's an older son that's 18. Apparently there was some kind of a falling out, physical, it sounds like, between Chantel, Christopher, and the oldest son. And that's when he went back to live with his own dad, who is Thomas Hudson. So there's some shit that went down with all these people are just like freaking Florida man. Florida man, this is like making Florida man sound like a real thing. Wow. Okay. Sorry for all my Florida family members and friends, but Florida does get a lot of really weird cases and shit that goes on. And I have family in Florida that are wonderful. They're not weird. They're not crazy. I don't think. As far as I know, they haven't been on the news yet. So the adult, okay, so that was a violent altercation between himself, the mother, and her paramour. They keep referring to Chris as a paramour, which means like side piece, affair, right? The party's 16-year-old child has been residing with the respondent, which is Chantel. And clearly, if he was obsessed with Anna, he wanted to stay with his mother. Gave him more access to Anna, right? I would think that was part of what's being alleged here. The respondent has denied the petitioner's time sharing with remaining minor children. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise. while released from custody, the 16-year-old child is residing with a third party. So they did take this boy. Hello, Aunt Mary. They did take this 16-year-old into custody. I also heard that he went to the hospital. And then they released him to an adult, but he's not in the house. He's with a member of Chantel's family, it sounds like. Third party. The parties were granted a final judgment dissolution of marriage on February 21st, 2023 in Lee County, Florida, despite the parties residing during their marriage in Hernando County. An order ratifying the joint stipulation to modify parenting time was entered on April 10th, 2024 in Lee County. The joint stipulation to modify parenting time was made in order of court. The petitioner was ordered to have parenting time with the children. The respondent is denying the petitioner parenting time with the two youngest children and has denied his ordered parenting time since her relocation. The respondent is willfully violating the orders of the court. The respondent is continuing to alienate the two youngest children from the petitioner. The parties' agreement regarding relocation was supposed to be reviewed at the end of 2024-2025 school year. The 16-year-old's future has been put in jeopardy because of the choices made by the respondent. See, they're going to blame Chantel for her son's action. Anna was so close to getting away from all these toxic situations. High school graduation only 6 months away. I know, right? Oh. Yeah, I wonder if this stuff's going to come out. More stuff of that. It might. You know, there's probably a FOIA phone call or police phone call or something that could be gotten for that altercation with the older son. I bet you there's a police call or 911 call or something. I don't know. Maybe if they did involve the authorities. The petitioner has not been allowed input into the children's lives, and his lack of involvement has negatively impacted the children. The youngest child is at immediate risk of abuse, abandonment, or neglect in the care of the respondent. The petitioner has retained the undersigned attorney and is duly indebted to the same for the reasonable fees and costs incurred in this matter. So wherefore, the petitioner respectfully requests the court to enter an order placing the youngest child in the care of the petitioner. There's a 9-year-old, right? Addressing the placement of the 16-year-old child, awarding father additional parenting time based upon the denial of parenting time, requiring that the parties cooperate with appropriate services for their minor children, and awarding the petitioner's attorney fees and costs to be paid by the respondent. Respectfully, that was November 17th. There was police. See, that's what I'm wondering. I bet we could find that. I bet somebody could find that. With the older son that left and isn't living with his mom and Chris. So it very clearly tells us that it was on Jay. Okay. Oh, it was? She got it? Okay, cool. It very clearly tells us that there's a lot of shit that was going on with these people. And the 16-year-old is clearly the suspect in the death of Anna. I don't know how long it takes to do anything. Maybe because he's a minor, there's a little more to it and it's FBI. But the fact that he's just out and about is weird to me, not being held. I don't know. Stick that kid in juvenile hall or something. It's weird. It's weird to me. Okay. So, an emergency motion for continuance filed in Brevard County Circuit Court by attorney on behalf. Okay. So then, so she files a response, I guess. The FBI is active. The filing states the FBI is actively. Here we go. Okay, this one. So this is Chantel's motion in the former marriage of Thomas Hudson. Chantel Hudson, by and through the undersigned counsel, hereby files this motion for continuance of hearing on petitioner's emergency motion for contempt and enforcement, which is set for December 17th. The undersigned counsel is the attorney of record, has been retained by the respondent. An extremely sensitive and severe circumstance has arisen wherein the respondent, which is the mother, Chantel, will not be able to testify at the hearing at this time. Currently, there is an investigation being conducted by the FBI arising out of the sudden death of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, who was found deceased on November 9th, 2025 on Carnival Cruise. Miss Anna Kepner, the deceased, is the daughter of the respondent's paramour, and the respondent and the minor children of this instant action were all on the cruise ship together. The respondent has been advised through discussion with FBI investigators and her attorneys that a criminal case may be initiated against one of the minor children of this instant action. The respondent privilege against self-incrimination must be invoked pursuant to Florida, blah, blah, blah. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process of law, or be twice put in jeopardy for the same offense, or be compelled by any criminal matter to be witness against oneself. Any testimony the respondent may give, either written or oral, could be prejudicial to her or her adolescent child in this pending criminal investigation. Therefore, the respondent cannot be compelled to testify. So this is her response to continue whatever hearing they were going to have. Yeah, right, Marissa? Like, so sad. Can you imagine? Like, that poor girl. When I was 18, all I cared about was my friends, and my parents used to piss me off, but my house was full of love and siblings. I fought with my brothers and stuff, but it was just normal. I can't imagine living in this kind of turmoil. I mean, it kind of makes me sad that my kids had to go through a divorce, but there was nothing like this going on, except for my ex-husband did marry this crazy lady that was not very good to my children, which breaks my heart for my kids, but live and learn. Didn't realize. But anyway, stop just looking at this kind of shit, like what could have happened. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What happens to other people? You know, nobody's immune, I guess, if you wind up blending things up with somebody that has kids that are so already unstable like that. The mother defending her 16-year-old son is disgusting. She needs to make him take accountability. I agree, arrest him. The only thing I can think about is that I wonder if they want to charge him as an adult. I did hear some on, like, I don't know, Court TV or something. They were interviewing, an attorney, and they did say they believe he will be tried as an adult for this. And basically with federal investigations, it's either death or life imprisonment. There's no other thing, no other option. And they also believe it won't go to trial. They believe it won't go to trial, that it'll just be a plea. Right? My boyfriend, my friends, and thinking about what I was going to do with my life eventually. Right? What was that? Hold on. Oh, spam. Big old ding in my ear. And that's why he hasn't been arrested yet. And why are they calling it a sudden death? Yeah. I wonder what the percentage is for incest, not saying it is the case. Yeah, it is, thinking about that, like hormonal teenagers and Anna, and the fact that this boyfriend knew that Anna had this ick from this stepbrother is really sad and scary. And that her father didn't just be like, oh, wait, hold the phone. We're not doing this. It's horrible. Dad ignored it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, stipulation is signed on about November 17th. It placed that the suspect son, TH, with a relative of the mother. The filing states that this placement was made to ensure the safety of the youngest child of the parties and the safety of the remaining child of the stepfather. It further notes that the father is believed to have retained legal counsel for TH in connection with the alleged incident involving him and the death of the stepfather's child, Anna. So here we go. There's more. There's so much to this. So this is this one. This says there are in fact two minor children of the parties, to wit, TH, a male child born in 2009, and BH, a female child born in 2016. The third and eldest child of the parties has reached the age of 18. However, the father came and removed that child from the mother's care without her consent, even after the father signed and agreed to a modification of the parenting plan of the parties to allow the mother to relocate with all three then minor children to Brevard County. In fact, the father allowed the eldest child of the parties to reside with the child's teenaged girlfriend. The father hindered the mother's ability to see the eldest child, claiming that the eldest child did not want to see her, and after he already signed an agreement to allow the mother to relocate with all three then minor children to Brevard County. There was no violent altercation between the mother and the eldest child of the parties as referenced. In fact, the petitioner, father, attempted to file a petition for protection against domestic violence against the mother, claiming that the mother tried to hit the eldest child of the parties, who is now an adult, while in the vehicle. But the court denied said petition, as the mother and stepfather were simply preventing the child from his attempt to jump out of the car, as he wanted to stay in Hernando County so as to be with his girlfriend. Hi, Krusha. This was also mine and my brother's experience with our stepmom and her kids, minus the SA and Red Room. They were vile and would degrade my mom, and stepmom would allow them to. My dad turned blind eye. Yeah, so crazy and sad, right? Like the blended family thing can really be toxic. It's horrible. I'm so sorry. It's awful. When my ex-husband married this woman, Laura, they got divorced about 5 years later. My boys were kind of acting out a little bit, like teenage, but I mean, they were going through a lot, right? Divorced, newly married. He got married 4 days, or he got married like 2 or 3 days after our divorce was final. And I purposely didn't go to court because I was like, I'm not going to sign that. But anyway, they got married really fast. And then the first Christmas they were together, they made my kids sign a contract, and they didn't give them Christmas presents. And my kids were like, that was it. That was the end. They were like, it was so stupid because they were kind of acting. I'm like, they just went through hell. Their parents just got divorced. You ran and got married 5 minutes later, and and then her kids got all these presents and stuff. It was just sad. Just so much crap. We were all teenagers except Todd, 2 stepsister and 1 stepbrother. Yeah. I know. I do have a lot of guilt for my divorce, just because of what happened. If we would have both just went our separate ways and stayed single, I think it would have been a lot better. But the fact that he got married so fast, and then they decided that this is a whole nother thing, but they decided to live in these show homes. So they lived in these like big, beautiful mansions that were for sale. So the kids weren't allowed to make any messes or do anything. They were all staged homes. It was so weird. So weird. Did you live with them at the time? Meant to write that my brother was 8 years younger than me, and I was around 14, 15. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Krusha. Yeah, it's awful. It's hard. So, okay, I guess there was some car. Okay, so this against domestic violence against mother, claiming the mother tried to hit the eldest child of the parties, who is now an adult, while in the vehicle. But the court denied said petition, as the mother and stepfather were simply preventing the child from his attempt to jump out of the car, as he wanted to stay in Hernando County so as to be with his girlfriend. The mother has not at any time denied the father time sharing per the modified parenting plan, except on the date that the mother initially relocated by agreement of the parties to Brevard County. The father has not come nor made any arrangements to come for time sharing with the 2 remaining minor children. However, the 2 remaining minor children have each told their father they do not wish to visit with him due to the issues of domestic violence and on the petitioner's father's part. Can you imagine? I bet they never thought that the entire internet would be looking at all this stuff, right? But your son made that happen. We lived in homes like that in Houston. Our decorator that was assigned to us for the program wound up hiring me to help decorate these multi-million-dollar homes. It was fun, but I'm a small town girl. Oh my gosh. Wild. At least it was fun, right? And you're like, wait a minute, this is like out of my wheelhouse here, though. Let's see. Currently, there's an open DCF investigation against the petitioner's father due to issues of physical domestic violence by the father against the 2 youngest children. See, there's a lot of crap going on in this, people. It is true that there is an open investigation regarding the death of the biological daughter of the stepfather, and TH is a suspect regarding this death, which occurred recently on a cruise ship. With regard to the minor child, TH, the parties signed a stipulation on or about November 17, 2025, that the minor child, TH, will be living with a relative of respondent mother. This was to ensure the safety of the youngest child of the parties, as well as the safety of the remaining child of the stepfather. The respondent/father is believed to have hired counsel for the minor child, TH, due to the alleged incident involving TH and the death of the child of the stepfather, Anna. Thus, the petitioner is well aware and has participated in the immediate safety concerns, and he, in fact, agreed to placement of TH with the mother's relative. Mother's response. The mother is also providing counseling. Oh, this is the mother's response. Sorry. The mother is also providing counseling for the remaining minor child regarding this tragic situation. Again, the father is aware of this. As stated, there is an open FBI investigation involving TH. However, there are no allegations that the mother abused, neglected, or abandoned either of the minor children, or that she failed to protect the minor children. The father currently has scheduled a hearing for December with regard to time sharing issue. The mother is seeking to continue that hearing due to the allegations against and the open FBI investigation regarding TH. The funeral services for the deceased daughter of the stepfather are scheduled for this week, and the family is grieving. If DCF thought there was any issue regarding the mother's ability to appropriately parent the children, they would be required to take action accordingly. No such action has been taken, nor have they advised her that she is a risk to her children in any way. Again, there is no emergency at this juncture, and the matter, if the father still intends to pursue same, should be set on the court's regular schedule. It is certainly not the best interest of TH that any statements regarding the matter that is the subject of the open investigation be discussed in a civil court proceeding. It is not known why the father brings up part of his emergency hearing that the case was filed in Lee County. The matter of the venue has already been addressed by the court in Lee County, and the court in Lee County ordered that the venue of the case be transferred to Brevard County. There's so much drama going on with these people. Oh my God. Poor Anna. So Anna's dad gives me the do what you want and I'll do what I want dad. His I'm not gay, but $20 is $20 t-shirt and a family picture says a lot. Yeah, it's weird. Really weird. Let's see. Okay, so where am I? FBI views the death as potentially criminal. A specific minor child from the cruise is being treated as possible suspect, and the mother cannot testify due to criminal exposure. Then November 18th at 10:18 p.m., Chantel files a formal response to the father's emergency motion. And the filing confirms that TH, the 16-year-old child, is a suspect in the death. This is the one that everybody saw first, of Anna Kempner, the biological daughter of Chantel's partner. The mother states that both parties signed a stipulation around November 17th for TH to live with a relative of the mother for safety reasons. So this is the one. Comes now the respondent, Chantel Hudson, and hereby files this response to father's emergency motion. So there are, in fact, 2 minor children of the parties, to wit, TH, a male child born in 2009. And is this the same thing? Am I reading the same thing, or I'm losing it here? No, it's different, right? No, it's the same. This is the same thing. This was her response, was it? Okay, hold on. Kathy. Chantal has... it's the same. Okay, we'll keep going. So on November 19th, there's an interview with the biological mother, Heather Kepner. Heather shared memories of her daughter, describing Anna as joyful, compassionate, and full of life. Let's see. You can watch this. Sorry, they're going to be commercial first.
You make it through security so fast. The agents applaud. Your travel itineraries are so well written, they're on the bestseller list. And you have access to lounges that don't officially exist. That's why you rent with National, where you can skip the counter and choose any vehicle on the Emerald Isle. Because travel isn't a competition.
You can't skip these commercials.
Except
they're not skippable.
And you're winning.
We went to the Swanee River when she was, I think, almost three. And she went horseback riding for the first time. And the guy that was walking the horse said that she was acting as if a pro was riding the horse. Like she'd been out doing it her whole life. And it was the very first time she'd ever been on a horse.
She must have had a bunch of confidence.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. But yeah, she was a really good child. I mean, she never really complained about much. She never cried that much as a baby. And as a teenager, she was the same. She was just always happy anytime I'd see her and talk to her.
These pictures, I know these pictures. I've been looking at them for quite a bit of time now. I'm sure you've been kind of diving into these, kind of remembering when some of these were taken and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a lot.
Any of these photos kind of stand out to you, make you remember specific moments or anything like that?
Well, all of them do actually, but let me see, the one with her, I believe, holding the baby, it's actually her youngest brother. Youngest brother is my youngest son. That weekend, that was the first time she got to see him after I had him, and she didn't want to put him down. She wanted to hold him the whole time she was there.
What an incredible big sister. You know, everyone looks up to your big sister, knowing she was that way from such a young age.
Yeah.
These last couple weeks, have you been holding up okay? I know you've been at church. I'm sure we're leaning on faith, and the fellowship there has been super helpful for you.
Yeah, they have been. I'm trying to hold it together.
I can only imagine what you're dealing with. I know church is a big deal for everybody. It's like an extended family. So having them with you has to be a great shoulder to lean on.
Yeah, it is.
Is there anything, I don't want to take you up too much of your time tonight, but is there anything you think
I'm not busy for the rest of the night.
Anything you think we're skipping over? I really just wanted to kind of highlight Anna and focus on some of your memories and how you've been holding up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm holding up, I guess, as best as you can. Trying not to fall apart. But, yeah, no, she was just a great child. She was always happy. She loved, we had her in dance and cheerleading, well, not cheerleading, but gymnastics and dance since she was, I think, 3. It was when we first put her in that, and she's just loved it ever since. Then she became a cheerleader in high school. And I think she did dance class in high school, too, but I'm not positive on that one.
Okay. The thing that stands out to me about these photos is just, I think every single one that I've clicked through, she's got this massive smile on her face. Was she always trying to make people laugh and everything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She didn't like it if people were upset. She kind of like takes after me on that one. But yeah, she was always trying to make everybody smile. She was always happy. An extremely happy child. I don't think she was ever really upset or depressed anytime I'd seen her.
She found the joy in everything.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, she did. Well, even when she'd make her post, if her boyfriend would break up or whatever, she still had to look at it. She always looked at it as the bright side, on the brighter side of it.
So she probably found the good in everybody and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
So I can only imagine this mother, she has her own struggles with addiction and everything, but that it's kind of scary when things like this happen because clearly, you start questioning your own choices and to the point where this could really affect her in the end, in a terrible way. So it's really sad, but I know she does have other children. Okay, where am I? Okay, So, so Heather shared the memories, and then she described Anna as easy child, rarely complained, blah, blah, blah. Anna began dancing gymnastics. She just told us all that. And then, Heather was banned from attending the funeral due to tension among the family members because of the investigation involving the stepbrother. But she said she went in a disguise with a wig and high heels and stayed in the back. So, but can you imagine, I'm sorry, this isn't the time to keep going with your drama. Let the mother come and grieve, no matter what. So, yeah, she said she was going to go in disguise. Let's see. Okay, hold on. There's this one.
Under suspicion, and he was allegedly obsessed with Anna. We've got the latest, including an exclusive interview with the dead teen's mother, who reveals she has been banned from attending her daughter's funeral, but is going anyway, in disguise. Anna Mercogliano reports.
There's chilling new allegations today about the death of an 18-year-old cheerleader on a cruise ship. Anna Kepner's ex-boyfriend says that her 16-year-old stepbrother, who is now under suspicion in her death, was obsessed with her.
She was scared of him because he always carried around a big knife.
Stephen Weston says his son Joshua, who was dating Anna, witnessed a disturbing incident during a FaceTime call.
He saw her stepbrother come in the room when she was sleeping and get on top of her.
He says that Joshua warned Anna's family what had happened.
He says that I tried to tell the parents that this was happening, and they didn't want to believe me. He's like infatuated, attracted to her like crazy. He's always wanted to date her.
Inside Edition producer Emma Cady is in Titusville, Florida.
Anna's funeral is being held here today at the Grove Church. Because the investigation into her death involves her stepbrother, we're told there's a lot of tension among family members, and some even told they're not welcome here today.
Inside Edition spoke exclusively to Anna's biological mother, Heather, who says she has been told not to attend her funeral, but says she was determined to say goodbye to her daughter and will go in disguise.
Heather, what are you going to do to get in?
I'm going to put a wig on and wear some really tall shoes because I'm 4'9".
Heather and Anna's father, Christopher Kepner, divorced 13 years ago when Anna was 5. Anna, known in the family as Anna Banana, was found dead in her stateroom aboard the cruise ship Carnival Horizon. She was sharing a room like this one with her 14-year-old brother and the 16-year-old stepbrother. There was a queen-sized bed. That's where Anna slept, and bunk beds for the 2 boys. Published reports say the 14-year-old was out exploring the huge cruise ship when Anna died. When the boy returned, he slept in his bunk, not realizing Anna's name.
Definitely, Kresha. I'm available whenever you need. I would love to, for sure. So just let me know when and where, and I'll be there.
Naked body had been stuffed under her bed just feet away. The sleeping arrangements came up in a divorce hearing today between the 16-year-old suspect's parents. His mother sat impassively as his father's attorney spoke about the cruise.
The 16-year-old was allowed to drink. The teenagers were given their own room in which to stay. Just a lot of circumstances that showed that the mother in this case was not exercising appropriate supervision over this child.
Funeral services today for Anna, the 18-year-old cheerleader who was found dead on a cruise ship. We know her stepbrother is under suspicion, and he was allegedly obsessed with Anna. We've got the latest, including an exclusive interview with the dead teen's mother, who reveals she has been banned from
Okay. Yeah. Of course. I appreciate you so much, Kathy. Plus, if you have StreamYard, you can mainstream. Oh, yeah. Multi-stream to my channel at the same time. Maybe Tuesday, if that works for you. I'll set it up. Yeah, for sure. That would work. We've never been able to do that, and I'm stoked and honored. Oh, of course. I'm honored to be asked. Thank you. Definitely, I'll be there. I will be there with bells on. Well, for sure. I'm happy to help, and I want to. Thank you. Yeah, great idea. Awesome. I'm excited. That'll be great. Great. Very cool. Definitely. It's time. You came on my show, but it's been years, remember? Like such a long time ago. But that was big back then for sure. Okay, let me see. Where are we with this Anna Kepner? All right. So Chantel Kepner indicated her 16-year-old son has a psychiatric appointment early next month, but did not elaborate after the judge cautioned the mother not to speak without first seeking advice from her attorney. The 16-year-old stepbrother was hospitalized for undisclosed reasons after the cruise and is currently living with a relative. We know that. They had the celebration of life for Anna, 5 p.m. Was it yesterday or the day before? And all the recovering gems are welcome, right? The ones in recovery, the ones that came over to the light side here. Yeah, well, yes. I'm so happy that you're going to be on Turtle Boy tonight. I keep trying to put the wrong thing up there. All right, so So, unconfirmed media report regarding preliminary investigation details. ABC News reports that an unnamed source described as being directly briefed on the federal investigation stated that early findings indicated Anna Kepner died from asphyxiation caused by a bar hold, described as an arm placed across the neck. So that's when they do that, right? So, and they said a bar hold. So apparently this kid put his arm across her neck. So was it like this or like this? Who knows? But that's how she died from asphyxiation. He suffocated her by cutting off her airway. Unconfirmed. The source also claimed investigators noted 2 bruises on the side of Anna's neck, consistent with pressure being applied. The report further states preliminary information did not indicate sexual assault. No drugs or alcohol were detected in the initial review. Anna was found under a bed, wrapped in a blanket and covered with life vests. The FBI did not confirm or comment on these claims, citing the active investigation. The Miami-Dade medical examiner has not released an autopsy or toxicology report. The information has not been confirmed by law enforcement or medical officials. It remains a media-sourced claim and should not be considered official until supported by released investigative documents. So that is, and everything so far, which is just so crazy with this, everything so far has been come to be true, right? I'm making I'm making new merch that says I'm sorry for the things I said when I was a hidden gem. I love it. I love it. 20 days sober, 30 days sober as a gem. Right? I got my 1 year what is it? 1 year, or not 1 year because it's been 1 year. I got my 1 month chip. I got my 1 month chip as recovery as a hidden gem. You know what's funny is Kay, this is a side note, but since you guys are talking about it, Kay did make a comment in my stream from last night under it. And she said, if Lauren was truly afraid, she would not be going toe to toe like that, right where Lindsay is, because Lindsay works for Ashley Banfield. Lindsay is Ashley's producer. And then freaking Lauren acting like she's all freaking scared. Freaking is my new word today. Freaking. But anyway, yeah, she's like, Kay's like, no, she's not afraid of anything. She's being ridiculous, because if she was afraid, she wouldn't be going like that up against Lindsay. But personally, my thing is, I feel like she's extremely jealous of Lindsay, and that's where the cease and desist came from. Because if you remember, Lindsay used to work for Annie Elise, and then in between gigs, between Annie Elise and Ashley Banfield, and I'm telling you guys, Lindsay is the nicest person. I have spent time with her. I met her at the first Lori's trial. She was super helpful to me. Like, me and my knucklehead trying to find things, how to post things or whatever. She's like, here. And she was just nice. Just nice. Like, here, Kathy, let me show you. Let me help you. Not trying to take anything away from the person she worked for, Annie Elise, just trying to be helpful to another creator that's sitting in a courtroom trying to figure out how to work her own computer and, and stuff to do. And she's given me really nice advice for my channel. And I met her. We went out and had this in Boise. There's this little wine tasting room, and Lindsay and I went out there, and you put these fill the cards with a little bit of cash, whatever, $25, and you can go around and pour your tastings, and just nice. And then at the second one, so then in between, when Lindsay was no longer working for Annie Elise, she did do this contract for Lauren. But Lauren back then was trying to be everybody's BFF at the trials, except for mine. She wanted nothing to do with me. I will tell you that as a fact. And so when I wasn't there, she was friends with, Lori, who was my mod, and Lindsay and everything. They all did stuff together. But in the meantime, she hired, I guess at some point in there, maybe it was Delphi, she hired Lindsay to help her. And then Lindsay was in between getting her gig with Banfield. And then she comes out with this whole thing like she fired her. which from what I'm understanding is not the case, but Lauren twists and turns and makes everything look like she's the one that, oh, well, I didn't want Lindsay anymore. I had to let her go. And so anyway, it's just such crap is what it is. It's just crap. And Lindsay's just a very super cool person. Very cool, very nice. And Lauren tries to throw her under the bus here quite a bit now, I've noticed. And then she also tells Lindsay that she let her go. And then she gives Lindsay a cease and desist, right? And then you guys heard last night, from the phone call where she's like, can I sit here? And they're all like, don't talk to Lindsay. You sent her a cease and desist. Stop it, Lauren. You can't ask to sit next to somebody that you sent a cease and desist. And my opinion is she sent Lindsay a cease and desist because she is pissed and jealous that Lindsay went on to work for Banfield. I think, because that's how Lauren, in my opinion, and from everything that I've experienced with Lauren, my opinion, Lauren doesn't want anybody to go that worked for her, did something for her, was friends with her to move on and do better. She is not your cheerleader. She is not going to be like, I'm so happy for you. She's going to be like, what the hell, man? I should have been the one, right? So I should be the new Ashley Banfield. I'm Lauren from Hidden True Crime. Sounded like Lauren Mathias helped Banfield by sending Lindsay her way, but she was writing scripts for both shows. Then Lauren Mathias said she couldn't have a producer working for 2 shows. Blah. You hooked that up. Right. So she's like, she helped it happen. But see, I don't think that and then you fired her, right? So I think she wanted to see Lindsay fail is what I see. That's the Lauren that I see. Nobody's allowed to have a bigger channel than her. No one's allowed to do better than her. No one's allowed to be the first at anything. She's the first. She's the biggest. You heard it here first. Everything happened here. My Reddit letter, my email from the people during the Daybell thing that came to me first, always referred to as the Reddit email. Not, this was shown on Kathy's channel, Left Undone. Never, ever, ever, ever. Which is freaking fine, but it just shows you something, a pattern from way back when. It just shows a pattern that you don't support other creators. She doesn't support other people. If somebody got something bigger or better than her, you are nobody. You get out of my way. That's how I have felt it. And yes, whenever Lauren has gone since 2020, misunderstandings follow. Yep. Right. She punished her for taking the offer from LM. Woo. Her cheese has slipped off the cracker for real with that one. Yeah, for sure. And it's just so frustrating because there's room for everybody. You can support other creators. You can be... The only creators she's going to support are the ones that talk about her like she's the queen bee of all queens. Give her the crown and the jewels and the gems. Or if they can do something for her. Yes, I called it the zombie infamous email, but then got confused and didn't want to confuse others. So I made the switch to infamous. Had I known, I would have planted on top of zombie email because it was original. Yeah. Yeah, and it's fine. But you know what I really wish I would have done in hindsight with that whole thing? I wish I would have gone live, but I had never even done a live at that point. I never planned on showing my face. I started following the case. It's supposed to be like a voiceover thing and just talking about what's gone on, what's happened, what the history was. And then everybody's like, you should do lives. So then I started doing lives. But in the meantime, the night I got that email, I wish I would have gone live because that would have been instead I sat there mispronouncing all the Mormon words and the Nephi and Nephi and all that crap. And then everybody's like, you mispronounced that. I'm like, sorry, I suck at this, but yeah. Yes. Mindy Caldwell from Mormon Podcast broke her silence about Hidden True Crime on Reddit. She drew the line hearing, Yep. She drew the line when she heard about the strike on Crush's channel. She certainly did. No, it was zombie email at first. Plus, it was written by 2 zombies. Right? So the way that the one lady that I spoke to, and I don't know, and I have emails from these people. Someday I should go through them all, Kresha, and just forward them to you, from the Melanie Gibb friends and the ones that took notes and the ones that all that stuff. Like someday I will sit and forward all that old stuff to you, because there might be some good research in there for you. Because I didn't know even what was happening. When I started following this case and it was a brand new channel, I was like, what? Huh? What is happening? All I thought was there's some missing kids and some missing people. And then all of a sudden it's turned into, what it turned into clearly. So yeah, I'll have to go through all my old emails from 2020 and send you some of that stuff. Because there was a lot of drama. April Raymond's mom got in trouble for talking to me. Oh my gosh. April Raymond made her stop talking to me completely, because April told her mom stuff, and then she's like, "Don't tell Kathy that." So she was like, she would call me. Eventually, she stopped, but she would call me and tell me the stuff that April Raymond was saying about what Lori said, especially the stuff about Joe Ryan, because April Raymond knows that Lori told her that they went in there when Joe Ryan was dead. And that all just was pushed aside because there was still stuff that April didn't want out, even though she told her mom that. So yeah, it was crazy. In fact, I was thinking I was going to stream one of my original live streams where all that came up, because that's when Lori and Chad were in Hawaii, and April Raymond's mom was in my chat, and she's like, "My daughter's at church right now and Chad and Lori are there." And it's in my live stream. I should stream it someday so we can stream the stream from way back when. All right, I'll go back to my topic here. But yeah, we'll have to talk about all that stuff. So, okay, so there's the medical examiner hasn't released the actual cause yet, but there is some information that says that there was basically asphyxiation of Anna. Preliminary information indicates there were no signs of sexual assault, and there did not appear to be drugs or alcohol in Kepner's system. Autopsy and toxicology reports could confirm those details have not been completed. So I'm just wondering when everything's gonna move forward with this. So the suspect, TH, the 16-year-old identified in multiple court filings as suspect in the death of Anna, he attends a scheduled psychiatric appointment, on this date. So hold on here, let me share this. This is the court hearing.
I see you there. Is that Mr. Hudson there with you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you Miss Hudson, or is it Miss Kepner?
Miss Kepner.
All right. And then I see it appears as though Miss Nathanison, am I saying that correctly?
Yes, sure. It's Nathanison. Yeah.
Nathanison. I see you on the line, but your camera is not working for me. I can't see you. Is Mr. Smith, are you able to see Miss Nathanison?
No, we have the same thing. A camera with a line through it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm having problems. I'm not in my office. I'm at another location and I can't get my camera to work. I do apologize.
That's okay. Unless I hear an objection from Mr. Smith, we'll go ahead and proceed with just the audio. I was having my own technical difficulties earlier as well. So we're here in case number 2024 DR 52505 for a case management conference on an emergency motion for temporary relief, docket number 24, that was filed by Mr. Hudson.
Okay, so this one's kind of long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll just recap it, because this is the emergency court hearing. So this is Chantel here, and this is her ex-husband, who is the father of the 16-year-old boy that is now being suspected of being the one that killed her. Poor Anna. So, lost my place again. So apparently he has a psychiatric appointment scheduled. And it's part of the ongoing efforts to address the minor's mental health while the FBI investigation remains open. This is gonna be this kid, I mean, can you imagine? Why would he kill her? So December 5th is an upcoming 4-hour custody hearing. It's scheduled for 4 hours for December 5th. The hearing will address the ongoing custody issues. And then no rulings have been made yet with regarding their custody, but this is a whole shit show, this family. The only confirmed official timing detail is Anna's recorded time of death, which is 11:17 a.m. on November 7th, and that is when she was basically pronounced. So this here, Chantel, hold on. So let me get down here. There's some more stuff here. The timeline. So basically, the biological mom is Heather. We know that. The stepmother who raised Anna is Tabitha since she was 5 years old. And the current partner of Chris is Chantel. Chris is the father. Chris and Heather were married in Miami, in Florida. And Heather and Chris are the same age. They were both born in 1984. And then in 2007, Anna was born. She was born approximately 1 year after the marriage of Chris and Heather. And that is Heather's biological mom. December of 2008, there was a sexual violence injunction filed against Christopher. The sexual violence injunction is filed against Christopher in Brevard County when Anna was approximately 18 months old and when Christopher was married to Heather. The petitioner is listed as CD. And this, from what my understanding is Tabitha's mother. So public record alias shows that the petitioner used the name H at times, which is also the maiden name of Tabitha, who later becomes Christopher's spouse. So babysitter, something went on there, and babysitter's mom went after Christopher. And later, Tabitha and Christopher wind up getting married. They did dismiss this injunction on December 18th, 2008. Public record alias shows that the petitioner has used the surname H, which also the time of Tabitha, who later becomes Christopher's spouse. The identity of the protected minor is not disclosed at the time. And then in 2008, the beginning of relationship between Christopher and Tabitha, although exact marriage date is not listed, court filings and parenting records show that Christopher and Tabitha formed a household and shared minor children by the early 2010s. And that was verified by a parenting plan and multiple domestic filings in the 2023 divorce case. So Christopher and Tabitha, they got divorced in 2023. And so for much of Anna's childhood and teenage years, she was living with Christopher and Tabitha. And Tabitha is the stepmother that raised Anna. For much of Anna's, okay. So this is all verified: divorce, parenting documents, address records, household listings. On March 31st, 2023, Tabitha filed for divorce from Christopher. August 23rd, 2023, it was finalized, the dissolution between Christopher and Tabitha. And then on November 26th, in 2024, the divorce case was reopened related to parenting or support issues. November 27th, 2024, additional supporting documentation. So they were going through this, but their divorce had been finalized. And then in June, it was finalized again. Now, mid-2025, Christopher began the relationship with Chantel. Chantel becomes Christopher's new partner, and she becomes the third maternal figure in the household and is present with Anna on the carnival horizon. And then, you know, everything from there. They were on board in November 2025, and Anna winds up murdered. So that is the whole crazy story, but there's a lot of crap that went on with these people. A lot of crap. So wild, right? I mean, just this poor girl. Can you imagine going on a cruise ship with your family, being stuck in a room with your creepy stepbrother who you've already told people that he's creepy, and then dying? Craziness. Really bad. So, all right. So that's the whole Anna Kepner timeline and family dynamics that I wanted to share with you. And then let me see. Let me look at the chat. Hello, Sienna. Let me go back a little bit here. Russell Nelson died in September of this year, so hopefully they'll be held accountable for abuse done decades ago, but I won't hold my breath. Okay. Hey, Sushi. All right, you guys. So, wow, how long did we go? Long. Why are my live streams getting longer instead of shorter? Yes, that was super cool that Mindy went ahead and spoke and read it and made that post. And you know what? I'm so happy that she stood up for you, Krusha. That was big and important. And it gives everything a lot of validation as well. Oh, good. Down the rabbit hole. I like that channel too. Let's see. I would love to go through your emails on the case. That would be so fascinating to read. Yep. You can run them through ChatGPT to take out any identify. Yeah, for sure. I have them all. I have them all. I need to go back because some of them I was so confused. I sounded like a dummy, but I didn't know what heck these people were talking about with all that LDS stuff. And I was like, wait, what? But it eventually made a little bit more sense, right? So Webster sent them message to difficult research saying don't talk about Grayson sending message to Lori Daybell. It was Annie Elise, other employee did it, so she was hinting Lindsay wrote it. So when I spoke to somebody about all that, it was like everybody, Justin Lum, Nate, everybody that was following the Daybell case, except for me. I didn't do it. I don't know. Weird to me to go real life with these criminals, but we're actually reaching out to Lori. And apparently Lauren, now this is how I understand it, and I might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Lauren somehow told Annie Elise that the girl she sent to the Daybell trial was reaching out to Lori like a fangirl, which absolutely is not true. And initially, there wasn't any Grayson involved at that point. And yeah, she did. Lindsay was the producer going to the Daybell, Lori and Chad's trial. And that's when I met Lindsay. And there was no talk of her reaching out to Lori or whatever. But in the end, Lauren wanted an interview with Lori Daybell, Lori Dumbell. But for whatever reason, somehow her and Annie Elise spoke, and she's tried to throw Lindsay under the bus with this whole thing. And so I guess Annie Elise was told that Lindsay had been fangirling, and she's not Mormon, but she was pretending to be Mormon. She told Annie Elise that Lindsay was fangirling behind her back. Not that she was trying to get an interview for her or anything. She made it sound like Lindsay was like, oh, I'm not doing a professional job here. I'm just fangirling Lori Daybell. It's all so convoluted. It's so messed up. And it's so Lauren. It is so typical of Lauren to try to throw somebody else under the bus when she's the one that was actually doing it. She's the one that was trying to get people to do things for her little puppets, right? So then she's like, oh, by the way, the girl that worked for you was trying to screw you, which absolutely is not what was happening. Dr. Vonda, my dad left my mom and lived a terrible life. Left me to pay off mom's house. My mommy is precious, though. She never drove or worked. I've never been able to have kids, so she's been mine, I guess. Aw. Yes, we have a new, instead of Discord, we have Discourse. It's a little bit more user friendly, I think. I started trying it out. I think I'm going to keep it. I like it, and it's easier to use online. A lot of people have a problem with Discord because it's clunky and it takes up a lot of space. The app does in your computer. My source said LM used Lindsay as the front for the communication operation. LM and her friend, Sarah, allegedly were the substance of this conversation, gaining Lori Daybell's trust because the Mormons speak. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Totally. Like, you go because you're not Mormon, so, and then you just speak Mormon because she's got the inside info over here. Got it. But yeah, so because I think they think that, I think Lauren, she wants people to do the dirty work so she could throw them under the bus, is the bottom line. Can you imagine how other reporters will treat Lauren next time they see her in court? Yeah, no, it's all self-serving. No kudos for anyone for helping. It's all like, oh, now I'm jealous and I don't like you, so I'm going to say bad things about you and make people think that you're a terrible person working for them and doing shit behind their back that you weren't doing. Exactly. Is that what Lindsay's cease and desist was about, Lord? I don't even understand why she sent Lindsay a cease and desist. I honestly have not been able to get that straight in my head for any reason. Like, what was the point? Why was she trying to shut Lindsay up? It's the way Lauren LM went about it. Then the alleged plan was to hook Laura Hoare into an interview, and the plan was to tell Laura Hoare any proceeds would go to Colby. She used him as a pawn. Exactly. And I did hear that too, that they were, the whole plan was to say, if Lauren Matthias got this interview, that this money was going to go to, whatever money she made from it was going to be split with Colby. But I doubt she'd split anything with anybody. And then I feel like they really used Colby right before all this went down, that interview they had with him, those couple of days right before all this stuff. They look, there's a family member that still thinks we're amazing, right? Mm-hmm. I think Lindsay had all those screenshots and gave to Christina. She wanted to shut her up from something, right? And then she's like, can I sit by you? I sent you a cease and desist, but I'm going to sit by you. No, don't. You can't. That's why everybody else was like, don't talk to her. Lori was like, don't talk to her. You sent her a cease and desist. And then Lauren's all, She looked like a freaking psycho at that table. I think Annie Lee sounds like she thinks Lauren might be involved, though, but maybe I interpreted it wrong. Can those emails be FOIA'd? I know people were able to get Wade Wilson's, who's on death row. Oh, also, somebody mentioned last night that we should FOIA request the phone calls when Lauren and Grayson called the police to escort them out of there at Boise, because we have the one that we heard last night from the other side, from the girl's side, where she got the phone call from the police about Lauren. But I would love to FOIA request, and I bet we could, the initial call when Lauren and Grayson called the police to come. We don't feel safe. We're threatened here at this restaurant. What'd she do? What was that? So fucking weird. She goes, like, what are you doing, you weird girl? You are being so weird. It's like she believed her cease and desist orders, and ROs gave Lauren the choice of whether she wanted contact or not. Hell no. Yeah, no, it's not like you can't talk to me, but I can talk to you, and I will give you permission to talk to me when I want to talk to you, but you can't talk to me or contact me for any other reason unless I want to, because I am the queen. I wear the crown. Yeah, she looked manic in that video. It was cuckoo crazy. Super crazy. People also have gotten Steven Stern's prison emails. See, if you can get that stuff, that would be awesome. And Gypsy Rose prison emails have come out. Okay. We need to do some digging. A little bit of digging. Let me see if I can go over here. Let's see. Because these... Where did I put these? I put them in a file. I was going to try to pull that up again. Where'd it go? Ah, come back. Oh, here we go. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's that one with Crybaby. The Boise police call, that was last night. Okay. I was trying to find that one again where she looked like a crazy lady in the at the table when they were talking to her. And it's here, right? It's here somewhere because I downloaded it. But there's so many. No, remove. Okay. Okay, so like this one was the one that I just
like you don't respond.
Where are they?
They're literally across the street from us waiting on us to leave this restaurant. 3 of them left, and the only ones left are Lori, Janice, and Lindsay, which means the 3 of them are waiting to confront us.
So the 3 that have always confronted us.
They're all waiting. What's next? Do they physically assault me? Because I don't respond to them?
I don't believe that Hidden True Crime was ever going to give Colby any proceeds, and I still think they are using him. Oh, I agree with you. They're not going to share with him anything. It's all just a con to get Lori to agree to an interview is what it would be. Colby didn't even know about it, and LM probably figured he'd ever know about it since he doesn't talk to his mom, right? It was all just a con. I believe Lauren's idea. My son. They're acting for the video. It's ridiculously fake. Okay, and that's the thing. Because Lauren's sitting there videotaping Grayson. And at first, I was like, this is just uncool of Lauren. She should be consoling her. But then you're right. Lindsay nor Colby knew the plan, according to my source. Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. The difference is Nate Eaton is not lying about anything, and Lauren M is lying about everything. Oh yeah, she's lying just to get people to do things for her, and then stomping on them when she's done. I'm trying to find. Nope, that's not it. What is this? No. Nope. That's just a repaid. It's all on there from last night, but this one is interesting because this is at CrimeCon, and hold on. And this one is at CrimeCon, and it's interesting that Lauren is so afraid. She's so scared.
So I just don't explain what happened. Here's Gracie.
Nope. I will find the right one, I promise. This one I think is just oh no, I know what I'm doing. Okay, hold on. Video. Is this it? Let me see.
So I just don't explain what happened. Here's Gracie.
I keep picking the wrong one. Oh my goodness. Okay, Kathy. I might have to go eat lunch. So yeah, she kind of had like creepers. Like here, this one. This is Joe creeping. Joe Schmo. Creeping Joe Schmo over here. I mean, they were creeping all around CrimeCon. It was so crazy. Creeping to get closer, creeping to stand by Lindsay, creeping to get by Christina, creeping to get rid of Christina. It's wild. Okay. Nope. All right. Kathy, this wasn't what I was like. I wasn't organized for this, just like I wasn't last night. So I just don't know. Lauren stalking Christina. That's the one I'm looking for. It's called Lauren. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna hang it up. I heard that Megan Connor also took pictures for LM. I don't doubt what people are saying. Oh, they were all, it sounds like they were all just being freaking, I know, but everybody's tired of the word flying monkeys, but it sounds like they were just all being flying monkeys. Like, you go look for him over here. Go look over there. Even Lori told me that before Christina came down, she wanted to make sure Lauren was nowhere so they could go sit in this restaurant. And then, of course, Lauren shows up and tells Mr. Police Officer to get rid of him. You know, it's like, it's so crappy. I wonder if John Dehlin is feeling some type of way about this. And I actually think he does, especially since that woman felt comfortable posting on Reddit. I feel like she would get guidance or, yeah, very possible. Colluding. Yeah. She would get guidance or maybe run it past somebody like him to see what he thinks. What's everybody's thoughts on that? I wouldn't be surprised, being that she, you know, was invited on there, Mindy, with them, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he, because wouldn't you be like, okay, well, this happened there, and let me just run this by you, make sure this isn't stepping on your toes, or you don't feel differently, or you don't feel like it's inappropriate, you know, just a little conversation. Look up there at my comment. This one? Difficult research. Where's your comment? Oh, here. I uncovered hella new stuff on the connections in our case to Vandersloot, Blackwater, TPUSA, J, military complex, etc. that I'm planning on sharing Sunday. It's getting dangerous out here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Did I get the right one? I got the right one, right? That was one you were talking about. So it's pretty. How do I get these in order? Yesterday. That's what I want. Nope. I can't. I'm like so lost here. Yesterday. These need to be. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. There we go. How about that, Kathy? Boise police call. We got that. Kresha, is your interview with Turtle Boy question and answer format? These connections should have been uncovered by LM and any. Let's see. I didn't see Joe, but was that Megan? Megan, I don't have my glasses on. On the creeper. I don't know. They labeled it Creeper Joe. And it's in slow motion. That's the judge. I just love, so what I think happened is the judge told them that day at the hearing that didn't continue when they were talking about the freedom of speech. The judge told that Lauren flat out that, sorry, but I feel like this is what you're doing right now. And then I think you're trying to basically tell somebody that they can't have their First Amendment right to speak and, you know, say mean things about people on TikTok or wherever is not stalking. Because from what I understand, when they took that video of Lauren wiping her nose on the sheets in the hotel room. And of course, you know, every time you're having a mental breakdown, you'll be like, can you turn on the movie video? Can you video me, please? Okay, hold on. I'm going to cry about this now. And then she's crying about it in that hotel room. And from what I understand, that gray sweater or shirt that she's wearing and those pearls, that was what she was wearing that day. So what I think happened, from what I've been told and what I figured out, is they literally left the courthouse. It didn't go Lauren's way. Lauren had her little meltdown, but she wanted Grayson to record her meltdown for future 9-hour video. And then because she realized that she was going to lose, the judge basically told her, you're going to lose this. Like, this isn't stalking. So then 9-hour meltdown, added that little bit to it for sympathy and look at me, and then obviously you got to tell everybody that your husband was so worried about you. And Grayson's like, oh, and poor John, he took me outside with tears in his eyes, and he said that he woke up to Lauren rocking in the bed and blah blah blah. And then John with, you know what, somebody make a Netflix show out of this, for crying out loud. This whole thing would make some freaking good television. All this, really, truly, from the beginning. Like, you're a BI, your friends don't like you anymore, you want to be a freaking YouTuber of the century, your friends figured out that you're a fraud, you cried, they made a TikTok, they blasted it out there cryptically, I might add, and that you are a fraud and you are an idiot and you are not a nice person and you are uncool. And then hubby bubby comes along and makes up weird freaking stories about people being SA'd. What is it, Veronica and Becky and all this stuff. Like, dude, somebody make a Netflix show. This will get sold for real. Have you seen anything from Carl? Oh, God. No. That was a nightmare of a Facebook group to be part of. They know, wow, right? I shared my findings with my mom yesterday and she was speechless. Then she was like, this is the ultimate true crime story of all time. Yep, been trying to say this. So, and then like freaking John and his books and making up a whole, what is it called? What do you call it? This thought experiment. Hi, I got a thought experiment. You guys are fools. Let's do that. Your wife thinks she owns YouTube, true crime community. Your wife wants to step on people. Your wife doesn't want to spend time with you or your son. She's out gallivanting with 24-year-old Grayson and taking people for restraining orders that don't deserve it, and then crying for 9 hours. Come on, man. Come on, Netflix. Where are you? I'm serious. Brad Pitt. Yeah. And then the whole Brad Pitt. Oh my God. Like, you can't write this. You can't make this stuff up. Really can't. And then his meltdown over Lori Hellis, who he was going to be vulnerable and he was going to tell everybody the most vulnerable thing he's ever told anybody ever. And then Lori Hellis, she could read her mind so well that she couldn't stand to see a man vulnerable. And he was so mad that they kicked her off the show, but they never told her why. Brad Pitt needs a restraining order against John. Right. Bias is an understatement. I need water. My mouth is so dry. We know what John Matthias was doing when Lauren is out of town. He was watching every single Brad Pitt movie. Cringe that a man will know so much about Brad Pitt. Oh, cringe that a man would know so much about Brad Pitt, according to John. I know, it's weird. I didn't know any other. I could not name, probably, I could name a couple movies Brad Pitt was in, maybe. He was like, I got the Brad Pitt encyclopedia. Once upon a time, his first movie, his second movie, and then he did this, and then he did that, and he was so talented. And I mean, talk about fangirl. And then Lauren's like, he's cute. And John's like, anyway. Dude, you guys, you cannot make this up. You can't make it up. Plus, she shared her own cheating rumor. So there's that. Okay. And from what I understand, the cheating rumor is about, now, tell me if I'm right, because this is all rumor. Nobody knows, but she talked about it, and she talked about it being her camera guy or whatever she talked about it, but it's Lori Vallow's investigator. The rumor is that she cheated with Lori Vallow's investigator. And when you go full circle, it's a rumor, not saying it's a fact, have no idea. There's lots of rumors in this world. Nobody knows. But when you go full circle to the whole idea, of wanting an interview with Lori, maybe you do want to get close to the people that could get you your foot in the door there. Favors? I don't know. I'm just saying. It could happen. Yeah, nobody else would have ever known. Right. She brought it up. And he's John's friend. I'd cheat on John too. Well, I would never married him or be divorced. I do not know what she sees. But I don't know what he sees in her either. It isn't, it's after watching her across the table. God, I want to find that. I want to see that again. Where is that? I'm going to find that. I'm sorry. I have to find it. It's not this one. But after seeing her, she looks so freaking manic across the table that it's just insane. My lips are so dry. I need my chapstick. Oh, no. Go away. Get out of here. Let's see. Anna Cameron's not that. Ice cream. No. Okay. I know where I'm going to find it. I am going to find it. Shared with me. In the right, I got to switch. That's why I'm in the wrong. I was in the wrong Gmail. That's my problem. Okay, let's share. This one. She just looks so manic in this one. Tell me what you see. Yeah. She just like that mannerisms and the intensity, and with Lori talking to her, and she's just, it's just weird to me. It's weird. I need my chapstick. My lips are so chapped right now. Sorry. It's not chapstick, but it'll do. I don't want to get accused of licking my lips like John. Which, by the way, you know, sometimes when people have that tardive dyskinesia with their mouths, they're on some kind of psych meds that's a side effect of. I don't know if that's why he does that, but it's a constant. So it could be. Let's see. Megan, I'm missing some of you guys. It's chats. Megan even wiggled her way into having her voice heard at victim statements. She was jealous of Lori. Well, honestly, I didn't even know where Megan came from. But during all the time we were following the case for the 5 years, I never even heard of her. Except for I heard of a cousin that was there with Alex, or around the time Alex, when what's her face died? Melanie's mom, the other sister, Lori's sister. Right? It's like she came out of nowhere. Dr. John is the same thing Gypsy Rose has. Thrush mouth, I think it's called. Yeah, it's like a constant weird movement of your mouth. It's called tardive dyskinesia. It's TARDIVE DYSKINESIA, can develop due to exposure to the following medications: antipsychotic medications, also in certain cases, rare cases, certain antidepressants, lithium. Like, there's just a lot. I learned that in nursing school. And I remember when we did our psych rotation in nursing school, a lot of the people in the psych ward would do the weird movements with their mouth. That's why I remember, as a nurse, I remember seeing it. It's a neurological syndrome that involves involuntary, out of control movements. Taking antipsychotic neuroleptic medications is the main cause of the condition, but other medications can cause it as well. Means delayed or late. Dyskinesia refers to involuntary muscle movements. With this condition, there's typically a delay between when you start your medication and when you develop dyskinesia. Most people take a medication for years before developing the condition, but you can also develop it after short-term medication use. Researchers estimate that at least 20% of all people who take first-generation antipsychotic medications develop tardive dyskinesia. There aren't as many studies on other medications that can cause the condition, so it's difficult to estimate how frequently these result. So it causes involuntary movements of your facial muscles, tongue, neck, trunk muscles, limbs. Facial involuntary movements may include lip smacking or making sucking motions with your mouth, grimacing or falling, sticking your tongue out or against the inside of your cheek, chewing movements, puffing your cheek, rapid eye blinking. Other involuntary movements, making repetitive finger movements like you're playing the piano, thrusting or rocking your pelvis, walking like a duck gait, inability to remain physically still. Well, I can never remain physically still. I'm always moving. Like, I'm too hyper. Can't sit still. I don't know how people can just sit still. I'm jealous if you can just sit still, because I can't sit still. I do have 4 children with ADHD, so, I don't know if it's genetic or anything. Kidding. So anyway, uncontrolled muscle contractions, Michael. So I'm just saying that I have seen that with antipsychotic medications, and I don't know. I have no authority to say that he's taken anything like that, but I have heard that it is a thing based on my experience as a nurse. You have worms if you can't sit still. I can't. I don't have worms, Ruby. I just can't sit still. I can't sit still. It won't let you post a link. I don't know why. I think there's some things that have to be. There's probably a what's it called? A filter or something. First generation though, like almost no one takes anything that's first generation anymore though, right? What's first generation lithium maybe, but who takes pure lithium anymore? Who knows? But if you've been on it for a long time and it's worked for you, my email, you can do leftundoneofficial@gmail.com. Send it there. I can open it. leftundoneofficial@gmail.com. I got so many things open on my computer. Let me close some of this stuff. There's still been some kind of crazy trolls in my chat. I think they're getting a little bit less than they were now, but there has been some trolls yesterday and stuff too, saying that, oh, not this again. Let's talk about something important. And I was like, why are you here? I want to talk about what I want to talk about in my channel. There's lots of other channels out there you can go watch right now. You're not stuck. This isn't 1964 with only 3 channels. You can go, there's all kinds of stuff you could watch on YouTube and beyond. Okay, let me open my email. Get the right one. All right, my other email's open. Let me get back to this one. Verifying it's me. Oh, are you serious? No, I don't want to give you my home address right now. What are we doing here? I don't want to give you a profile picture right now either. Why is all this happening? Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me share this. Okay, here you go. Whoops. No sound. Hold on. There was no sound? Hold on. No. Hold on. Let me go. Let me get out of here. One second. You didn't have sound? Did anyone have sound? Anybody? Anybody? I'm gonna try again. Let me share. You have to, yeah, you have to have the sound. I could hear it. Tell me if you have sound. Otherwise, sometimes it flips out and goes into my ear pods and then you guys can't hear it.
You might want to look at yourself.
Do you have sound now? Was there sound now? I haven't changed anything. There was sound? Okay.
You might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you. You might want to look at the fact that you thought you owned this channel when you didn't. You might want to look at the fact that there was a groundswell of people who despised you.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's so weird. It's so weird. All right. I think you guys all need a break before we watch Turtle Boy tonight with Kresha. So I will let you go. What's he talking about? He's talking about Lori Hellis is what he's talking about, because she interrupted him. He went on the whole big ass tangent because she interrupted him when he was being the most vulnerable ever in a live stream. And she didn't like hearing what a man would say when he's vulnerable. Now what's wrong with the audio? Oh, some of you guys are behind. I'm so confused. Poor feelings. Oh, he was pissed. They're like scary pissed. Like Lauren's all just. Do you think Lauren's afraid of him at all? Right. As if Hellis was some kind of mind reader and knew he was going to make the most important statement of the case ever because it was about JJ. And shut up. I'm so sick of those people comparing themselves to your family, Kresha. It's just like every time there's anything, oh, I felt like Charles Vallow, or I was going to say something because about my son because it was remind me of JJ, or like, shut up. She's not afraid of him. Okay. It's like, stop with the family that's not yours. You don't own them. You don't have anything to do with them. You have a channel. Like, it's just weird. I'm Charles Vallow. I'm this person. I'm that person. Like, okay. Okay. And I think it's very poor taste that there's merch. I'm sorry. I know it was funny when Nancy Joe said certain things like don't flatter yourself or whatever, but I don't think it's appropriate for Lauren to have that kind of merch. That's just my opinion. I think it's insensitive. If you, Kresha, or somebody else wants to do it, that's one thing, but don't go making money off of, a murder trial comments from a witness. I just don't think it's okay. And that's just me. Yeah, it was cute and funny that she said it, but I don't think it's appropriate. Oh, yeah. She also said, I'm not dark. No one ever said you were dark, Lauren. So clearly people think she's dark. Right. Right. Okay. Crazy long live. I'm going to go. And I will be in the chat tonight supporting Kresha, you guys. Turtle Boy tonight at 9:30 Eastern Time. And thanks so much for this live. And before we go, for Anna Kepner's friends and innocent family members. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I know we kind of went on our other little tangent. I know. When I first started my channel and doing lives, my friends that would come, who clearly they don't come anymore, my actual friends in real life here, because they said, your lives are too long. I said, okay, I won't be that long. But, you know, we got stuff to talk about here. And yes, let me know about next week, Kresha. I would love to come on. And tonight we will see you. Go, Kresha. Yes, go, Kresha. And we're here to support you for sure. Okay. And to everyone else, please stay safe and stay well. And I'll be back soon. Bye.